like a butterfly flapping his wings deep down into the forest, man. It's gonna cause a tree fall like 5,000 miles away, man. There ain't nobody seeing nobody. Man, see, like, you don't even know, man. It's like you're born into this world, man. And you got like that, man, the dust and wind, man. Or like a dang old candle, man. It don't matter, man. It's all the time.
Stormy, welcome back to the Jay Bird Show. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man.
I want you to know I'm really fighting my inclinations to name this something along the lines of like Jay and Stormy explain the secrets to the universe, or like
I think
is
it's actually
Netanyahu
perfect.
really dead? And then just you and I talk about cars for an hour.
I bet you could probably get people at least 3 or 4 times because it's me. People will actually be like, "Oh, Stormy, no, tell us what the geopolitical situation is." Wait a second. All right, any minute they're gonna talk about.
We're gonna get around to it. Well, that's the thing is like, I think you and I had a conversation like a few days after our last recording, where it's just like, okay, like we all admit like the situation's not looking good.
No,
you know, on multiple metrics, but also if that's all you talk about, you will go insane. And so we just decided to talk about cars for an hour. No plan other than that.
Everyone look into like my episode with Pete on cognitive warfare, and it'll explain why it's a very big deal. When you're angry, you're literally dumber, and your decision making becomes very easy to track. So even if you're an autist and you go, I don't have time for cars, I don't have time for this, I need to know what's happening, I need to monitor the situation. Like, actually, no, it's making you more stupid.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, and I think you see that. I mean, just on the timeline. Right? People are understandably upset. Like, I get it. We're to be blunt, we're getting shafted. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know, man. Like, I can't do anything about it. You know, like Netanyahu's not talking to me. You know, despite claims to the contrary. So, like, you know, at a certain point, additional anger is you're really only driving your blood pressure up. And I say this as someone who is very much guilty of reading almost everything that Mark Levin writes, because it is kind of funny, but it is.
You've actually gotten me to start doing it, bro. I think we ended last episode with like, yeah, Mark Levin is actually a really funny follow. Like, now I read every one of his posts.
Honestly, the one who's slightly even better in my mind is John Podhoretz.
Okay, I'm doing.
He is a raving lunatic.
I'm gonna do this before I forget.
He called I think he was calling Tom Woods like an antichrist anarchist or something like that.
They just get to use words. However, they're like women.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even care what things mean, and then they look at you like you're an asshole for caring what these things mean.
Well, as a wise man on 4chan once said, women are the Jews of genders. So maybe there's something there.
Anybody that wants a good time, I'm pulling up John Podhoretz now. And after my Mark Levin follow, whenever I follow a gentleman like this, I just immediately hit the search for, because they're boomers too. So like, they're on social media being insane, but they don't quite know how to use social media or how social media operates. And they don't delete stuff that they should delete, or they don't think like, oh no, they know about X, shut it down. Like, they don't think like, I should probably check my timeline. Because a tertiary search of the word Goyim on John Podhoretz's timeline is, it's a good time.
And it's not just that. It is really any objectionable word, like whether it's a swear word, some sort of insult to someone's sexuality. You will see this man, who is at one point one of the foremost editors in America, saying the craziest things in response to the most minor provocation. Like,
oh my God.
Just as an example, like Megyn Kelly, who I don't watch Megyn Kelly. I don't really care about her. basically was like, I don't know, guys, I don't think this war is a good idea. And, refused to just denounce everyone that she was asked to. And like Mark Levin, like calling her like all sorts of slurs on the internet, saying she's like a slut for like a geopolitics take. It's insane. He's a raving lunatic.
Listen to this. You know that that Catholic MILF that went on Tucker show?
Yeah, I don't really know who she is, but I'm familiar with her.
Neither do I. But she's hot for an old lady. But here's John Podhoretz's take. Look, a meeting of the Jew Hater League. Maybe they can run off together and have beautiful little Nazi babies together.
Okay. I have the exact quote. This is the one I was looking for. This is actually I can't tell if he was insulting oh no, it was Megyn Kelly. Speaking about this woman, Carrie Bowler, where he said, it's because she's a poisonous and psychotic anti-Semite like you loathsome clickbait whore. Which, is quite a strong response for, just anyway, an insane person. Highly recommend.
John Podhoretz seems to have taken a special interest in our mutual friend of the show's, Daryl Cooper.
Oh yeah, no. Well, apparently, there is nobody he will not launch insane insults at.
Yeah, but
Stormy,
poor Ryan Grimm. Poor Ryan Grimm. Ryan Grimm is about the most pathetic of a man that you can get. And John Podhoretz is like, oh, well, you guy just went and got yourself a Nazi tattoo. Like he's hypothesizing whether Ryan Grimm is hiding a Nazi tattoo on that somewhere on his soft, squishy, terrible haircut having body. But like a secret Nazi tattoo. But he's like, or well, you may as well have.
Yeah, and it is there is nobody he will not pick a fight with and then immediately go to like truck stop bathroom level insults.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say he is making me like people I don't normally care about.
Yes.
Where I'm like, that's a rough situation. Why would you ever be so mean to, I guess, Megyn Kelly, who I really don't have any opinions on
Ryan
at all. It seems to just be these kind of like moderate, kind of like normal TV conservatives. Actually, let's.
This is why I'm not mad at this. This is my medication. I think about this often. What would I rather have? A Trump administration waddling through the the presidency, doing some of the stuff we wanted, because we always knew there was going to be like a compromise and he was going to get some of the stuff done, a lot of immigration or whatever, right? So would I want a 4 years of, let's say, like half measures, but good measures? I mean, granted, those half measures would be more than any president's ever done in my lifetime. Or would I rather have the world waking up to things that only 4chan knew in a period of about 2 weeks? And then 4 years of whatever that turns out like. I mean, John Podhoretz has made more National Socialist enthusiasts in 2 weeks than I ever could. And I try.
That's a very, very valid point, Stormy. But to find that remark, I just looked up on the search function on Twitter, John Podhoretz or. These are so funny. He's like a legitimate insane person. I mean, to your point. So if you at home, dear listener, are feeling a little burnt out, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious, and every word you search leads to really funny responses.
And here I was thinking that Jay Burden had peaked by telling me that I need to go check out Mark Levin, because I thought when I got to Mark Levin that was comedy. But now I know that I have a whole new world waiting for me when I get off this call.
Oh, there's another one Let me see if I can find her.
What about Avi Yemeni?
Oh yeah, I don't know that one. So are you familiar with this woman, Sloan Rashmuth, Rachmuth?
No.
She's another rabid lunatic. Let's just try the old John Podhoretz trick. See if I can find a.
You know what's crazy is that all of the woke stuff goes out the window instantly. Like we're calling women just filthy whores now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is responding. Oh, jeez, I can't even read this. This is insane. I'm just going to send you a
to the first
screenshot.
Podhoretz N-word drop.
Well, apparently, Mamdani's girl was going hard in the paint 10 years ago. Did you see that minor story?
No, hard R's in the paint.
Oh yeah. She called people faggots, like going crazy. And honestly, man,
wow. Wow. That's what something I would say in middle school to someone.
Yeah. This is like a middle-aged woman, just, out defending Israel on rumble.com.
These are the grown-ups. The grown-ups are back in charge.
Yep. That's yeah. I got nothing. Right. She also says that apparently the University of Florida college Republicans worship Hitler. This is just like things in like
down there.
Yeah, it's like I was uninformed. They didn't tell me at the meeting. Well, anyways, Stormy, we've successfully wasted 12 minutes and haven't mentioned a single thing about cars.
Well, it's not my fault America can't make a pretty car.
No, well, I was thinking about that. Like, okay, what are the prettiest cars of, let's just say like the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the thing that came to mind is I think they're like 1.5, which is, in my mind, 2005 Ford GT.
Yes.
Sequel. And then like the last gen Dodge Viper. And then before that, I'm hitting like basically the 60s before you get to like another really like actually pretty car.
And I will get a lot of flack for this, but muscle cars aren't pretty. Muscle cars are cool. Yeah, it's not beautiful. Right? Like, I mean, and I no offense, Bob Beef, if you are listening, I don't mean it however way you're probably interpreting it. But they are cool. Like in the same way, like a man can't be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they're Chad and masculine and muscly. Cool. They're cool. Like leather motorcycle jacket, cool. But they're not beautiful, like stop you in your tracks, bite the back. Even the Shelby Cobra, it's not.
Well, and like I would maybe make the argument that the like the Shelby Daytona, right? The like swept back one. That's a beautiful car.
But was that actually like a car we produced though?
I think so. I mean, it was a race car. So
yeah,
that's a separate conversation.
I don't even consider the Ford GT like a car that we produced. We went to Europe, we're getting our teeth kicked in, and we're like, all right, we need to just make these, but we're only going to make them for racing. Like the Cobra actually was produced, barely, but produced. But I mean, like, we haven't made a pretty car that people could buy in a really long time. I think since the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite partial to some of, although again, it's a tough look, right? Like the 60s Cadillacs. And even a lot of the kind of more normal 60s cars, like I think of like a New Yorker or like a Galaxy. It's like, again, that's that kind of tough look.
Yeah.
This is
like then the Toyota 2000 comes over in like the 60s or the
Yeah, yeah,
70s. And we're like, oh, what the fuck is this? Wow. Or the Jaguar E-Type.
dude, I genuinely love the E-Type coupe. I know it's a
Yep.
cliched opinion, but it is such a pretty car.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 windshield wipers, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, and I broke
I
one.
did not know that.
Working at the collection because they're British, of course, and it's post-war British. So like the metallurgy is
breaks.
awful.
Mhm.
It was not designed particularly well, but man, it looks good.
Well, it's like, what's crazy is like, I think it has to do with like, I think 1950s was a fantastic time in America, but it wasn't America expressing itself, right? It was very top down. It was good top down. It was top down by people that cared about us, kind of. But it wasn't like, I hate to use the cliche word, but like Faustian. Right? Because the 1920s and the 1930s, like the cars that people were making, like these people thought everything was possible. And you only saw that a little bit in the 1950s and very
Well,
early
and also,
60s. Like, how about we stick a jet engine in a car? And
well,
everyone
and
in the boardroom's like, yeah, let's fucking do that.
well, I'll push back a little bit because I don't know if Faustian or optimism is necessarily the thing, because what you see in even 50s cars, and there's a great, I can't remember what Buick this is. I think it's an early 60s model, but this is specific. It matters. I'm not just naming trivia on a car I can't remember, but I have a very distinct memory of sitting in one of these, and the interior was so cool and unique in ways that it didn't need to. So for instance, like the speed dial, instead of being a normal gauge, where it goes from left to right, it was an actual like disc that spun towards and away. And it's like one of those things where it's like, that doesn't matter. Like that's solved technology. No one needs.
Yeah, but it gives you the experience of speed. Like it expresses speed. Like somebody actually thought about that.
Well, and it's a cool thing that they didn't need to do. Like on an actuarial sense table, that doesn't make any sense, right? What you should do is, go to some supplier and order, a million different gauges and use them in all your cars because most people don't care. And that's true. But the fact that they were taking something even on a normal person commuter car and saying like, no, this matters. Like we want this to be unique and an experience. But I think that what you're also seeing in that transition is the democratization of cars, right? Where more and more people were owning them. And it was a very wealthy, optimistic country. And there still was, albeit in kind of a diminished sense, like a coach building scene. And, the big European houses were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But it was a flatter market. There were more options for you, instead of just being like this huge gulf between, cars normal people could afford and then like a Duesenberg, which is basically the equivalent of like driving around an aircraft carrier now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's actually kind of funny because like in the 60s, that started to flatten further with like the options list. Like,
well, honestly, like you see too, right? And this happened a little bit later, but the, consolidation of brands and the consolidation of production, where it's like, yeah, sure, GM and even, earlier Chrysler would, basically, have a frame, build certain things off of it, have an engine. But for a while, it was like different brands were actually very, very different. Like Oldsmobile, which is actually, of all the brands that got killed, Oldsmobile is the one I'm the most upset about.
Really? I don't know much about Oldsmobile.
Oh, Oldsmobile is one of the oldest car companies in America. I think it's 1900. It might be still in the 18th. Let me look this up.
They had the coolest logo for a while.
But even up until the 60s, when did it start? Yeah, 1897 was when Ransom E. Olds founded that. Yeah, and like very, very early stuff like the curved dash olds is sort of a famous car.
Oh yeah, because they
But
wouldn't have been doing that in like the 20s and teens.
yeah, and I mean to get like Oldsmobile was the first automatic transmission. Like they came up with that. So like a pretty storied brand. And even like into the 60s, like did some cool stuff. Like the Starfire is a very pretty car in multiple versions.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't make sense to have, every different sub brand have their own engines and have their own production, like do everything
And
separately.
then you got like the
And so
442, which is like a Buick, like a Chevrolet. Like it just got
right.
collapsed in on itself.
Yes, and it just becomes like basically a brand that is a trim line, and of course it became no longer economically viable because they'd been making old people cars. But like
Cadillac, same thing.
Yeah, and I mean Cadillac's even more different now than they used to be. Oh, by the way, have you seen that new Cadillac EV thing?
Mm-mm.
Let me find. I don't know the name. I don't know. I basically stopped paying attention to new cars in like 2015.
Same thing with supercars.
Yeah. Let me find exactly which one. Oh, that's why I remember. It's the Optic, spelled OPTIQ, and I
want to punch
looks like
somebody.
a Kia.
Like, how do we let them know it's electric? I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna read out to you.
Maybe we put like an IQ, or we do a -E, just to let them, in case they don't know that how clever this is, that we're doing the future.
Okay.
With electricity.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna make you really mad. There are 3 electric Cadillacs, right? I'll read you. Well, there's also the electric Escalade, but that's much less.
If you buy an electric Escalade, I will find you, and I will cave your head in with a rock.
Okay, Stormy, you're not allowed to look this up. It got the same general naming scheme, but what do you think? I guess I can't quite tell if it's a crossover or an SUV. It will say the mid-size crossover electric Cadillac. What is it called?
A Trent?
No, it's called the Lyric, spelled Lyriq. It somehow looks worse. But wait, there's the top of the line model. Again, same naming convention. What do you think it's called? This is so stupid.
The DYIQ.
No, it's called the Vistic, spelled with a Q. I hate it all so much. Like,
I bet you no more than 8 women around a conference table came up with all of this shit.
Are these even selling? Like, these can't be selling.
This is the whole thing about all of it, is that none of this shit sells. Like, luckily things are worse in Germany, like economically, and where they've just been forced to give up the electric bullshit. But this is like the metaverse. I joke a lot about, like, when I talk to like other investors, because they'll just say, like, especially the older ones, they'll just say words to me. I'll be like, what does that mean? And they'll be like, no, well, we have to be focused on AI. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What does that actually mean? Who's focusing on it? How are they focusing on it? What are they focusing on it? Hoping it will, like, you don't know what you're saying. And it was the same thing with metaverse. It was the
metaverse
same
shut
thing.
down, by the way, or at least the VR version of it did. Finally.
Yeah, I would joke with investors. I'm like, you want to know how stupid this type of behavior is that you're doing, right? It's so stupid that Mark Zuckerberg, who you guys think is a smart guy, went over to Davos and came back with marching orders because Edelman PR, that's the people behind Davos. It's literally a very evil PR company. They do a lot of PR for certain certain, national governments that you may or may not be a fan of. And they create Davos, right? They literally set the agenda items. Like, what are we going to convince the billionaires they came up with this year? And this is where you get this top-down shit from, right? And I'll tell people this, and they'll be like, well, I think you're being a little extreme, whatever. I'm like, no. Mark Zuckerberg, for the rest of his life, has to carry around the shame of blowing $60 billion on a thing nobody wanted and literally no one asked for. And he has to carry the shame around forever because he changed the name of his company to his biggest failure. This would be like me changing my name to the time that, I caught my ball sack in my zipper. Like the most horrible moment of my life. I'm going to go to the DMV and be like, I would like to legally change my name to Stormy's ball sack in his zipper. Like the most painful moment of my life. Now, every time somebody says, hey, you're the CEO of your biggest failure you've ever done in your whole life. You should, that's where all this is from. Nobody ever asked for EVs. Nobody. The marketing research, because they first tried to what do they call it? Workshop it, where they just invite a bunch of people from the street in and be like, hey, would you like a car that runs on gasoline or electricity or whatever? And literally no one said electricity. Like nobody wanted this whatsoever. And you watched every single car manufacturer, just like Metaverse, try and roll out this thing that nobody wanted. And it's literally just sold to these companies by McKinsey consultants. Like nobody at GM. Everyone at GM is just a bunch of scared women in cubicles that are afraid to do anything wrong. Well, there's this imaginary rule set that they're afraid of running afoul of. So the only thing that they're not scared enough to do is call a consultant company, and the consultants come in and then tell them what they think that they should do, and then they leave. So when they actually go and try and do this, and it all blows up in their face, the consulting company is miles away with hundreds of millions of dollars and absolutely no responsibility or accountability for just nuking however much money Cadillac spent on EVs.
Well, guess what? There's another model, Stormy. So
sorry for
this tangent. It has its own website. No. This is I'm gonna hide a little bit of it, and then I will send it to you directly. So there's the new quote, custom commissioned, hand built, extraordinarily rare, ultra luxury sedan starting at low $400K. In the same model range. And this dude, not only does it have the same stupid naming convention, this sounds like a stripper. Like it does not, the name is extraordinarily trashy in addition to being a hideous vehicle. It's the Celestine.
Is it Anna Paula Luna?
Yeah. So I'll send this to you, Stormy. One, the 3/4 shot of this, so like the rear quarter, is, even by the standards of modern vehicles, horrible. But there's a video I want to show you, which is like kind of maybe 25% of the way down, where right after the part that says the most advanced Cadillac ever, which one, it has a like Tron style light up ceiling, which they show in purple, which is real cool. But also just below that, you'll notice there's a section for the intricately choreographed LED display sequences. Do you see that?
Oh, I hate you so much.
For those wondering, right? Actually, you know what? I'll just show this on screen because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. this is something that like would be annoying if you're like your like fancy gaming computer did it, let alone a $400,000 vehicle. It's even by the standards of modernity, shockingly bad taste. Sorry, as I just
They're just not allowed to do anything anymore. So like this is the shitification that everyone talks about. Oh God, yeah, because that's, you know what this is like. This is becoming Chinese.
Yes.
Remember you were telling me about the Chinese hypercars and the cool things that they can do?
Mhm.
Cool in quotation marks. Like what, like bunny hop and do light show? Like that's what I
Yeah.
want. I want to spend $1 million on a car that sucks, but can do
Well,
LED light shows.
it shows
Am I
you the
Puerto Rican?
oh yeah. So the thing I'm talking about is the Yang Wang U9. That's sure is cool. The the Yang Wang.
How much does it cost?
Dude, I don't know. Apparently, according to Car News China, it can leap over 20 feet.
They just get to say things.
Yeah. Well, the video from the company shows it jumping over caltrops. So if you are in fact worried about, being, sort of engaging in medieval warfare, fair enough. I guess that's the car for you. Again, the thing that I always think about is just the incredible changes in the taste of the wealthy, right? Where like, again,
The lack.
you're talking, yes, the lack of taste, right? These brands become global, these trends become global, and you get globalized taste.
The BYD Yang Wang U9 is an electric
Rolls off the
supercar
tongue.
that twerks and jumps.
Of course it does.
I want. Oh God! I want.
It's honestly, it's a remarkable deal. It's a remarkable deal story. It is, well, at least according to Ert Cash Sood, I think is how you say that. It runs at only $236,000, which means compared to the Celestiq, it's a remarkable deal.
Yeah, actually, Cadillac. What the hell's wrong with you?
But you know what I'm saying? Like the 3/4 on the Celestiq is uniquely ugly.
Yes.
And honestly,
like as in like no
just,
one that likes cars made this. It's not AI would have done it better. AI likes cars more than these people do.
and here's the thing, I'm not the biggest fan of like current Porsche styling, but their electric, the Taycan, not graded on a curve that is other electric cars, looks fine. Like the GT or the Turismo, right? The hatchback version,
Looks
not
really
a bad
cool.
looking car.
Nope. I
And,
actually thought about like a Panamera hatchback, the Panamera Gran Turismo. Then I stopped myself, but for a while there, I thought it was pretty. I was like, I could maybe see myself doing that.
The Panamera looks better in person than it does. It's hard to describe, but you know what I mean. It looks weird in photos, and it doesn't necessarily in person.
This is actually the only people that have been able to pull off this brand collapsing homogenization to where it's actually a net gain is the Germans. Because like the first Panamera, not only is it hideous, like it looks like it has a sexually transmitted disease. And people that know me personally can go back and they'll tell you that I've been saying that since it launched, before AIDS was funny.
Yeah, honestly, man, the 2018, I guess it's like the second gen.
Yeah, look at the 2018.
It's really not bad looking.
No, it's not. So Panamera, the Porsche Panamera, we're going to make a 4-door chassis, and we're going to make it go really fast and handle really, really, really great. And this is why the new Bentley is actually fun to drive and drives really, 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 really well. because it's the same car. So like you actually have a Bentley that can go around turns and not roll over like a fat drunk British guy on a too tiny bed.
Okay, so I was about to make a point about the Cayenne, because people always say like, oh, the Cayenne was when Porsche collapsed. Like that's when their brand identity died. And while they're kind of right, I actually think that especially the first gen Cayennes, like they have a turbo diesel one that allegedly is really, really good off-road. But to support that point, I was finding other kind of, sports car and supercar manufacturers that make SUVs. And so I went to Aston's website, right? And they have
no.
DBX, which is hideous. However, how much power do you think a DBX makes?
700.
717, which is honestly kind of astonishing.
Well, do you know why? Because Aston, again, this is what if you owned an Aston Martin, what would your ownership life look like?
Well, for me, crushing financial depression and an ignominious suicide.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but would your Aston Martin work?
No.
Okay.
Well, I guess new Aston.
Exactly. So Aston Martin was never able to make a car that was reliable. So another thing from the brand consolidation is they started sticking Mercedes engines in them. So that's why that DBS or DBX has 700 horsepower, because Mercedes builds a really good motor that they throw turbos on, and you can literally you can be a retarded, you can be a retarded conference room table full of women, and all you have to do is turn the dial up on the boost, and now you have 700 horsepower. You don't even have to be clever.
I will say, honestly,
I know this for a fact from having 1,000 horsepower literally out my window right now. There is a BMW that makes absolutely no sense. Actually, you've driven in that car.
I have. I'm not going to car dox you, but
you can.
Oh yeah. I guess you've posted it. I love GT cars. It's actually part of why I have a soft spot in my heart for Astons. And I will say the Aston GT cars have survived modern styling much better than many other brands. Like the new the newest Vanquish is very, very pretty. And even the drop top
DB11.
Yeah, just like they are dealing with modernity very well.
Yep. I almost bought a DB11. It was either going to be the M8 that you drove in or a DB11. I literally had, there's a very, very upset man. If you're listening to this, I apologize. But also don't dox me, Mr. Sales Representative at Aston Martin, North Carolina. I literally filled out all the sales paperwork. Like I had the DocuSign in my inbox to sign on. I just got off the phone with a guy. And then in between that period of time, all in the span of like 10 minutes, my friend at Brahman, which is like a big BMW dealer / like Rolls Royce / whatever, which is all, I mean, there's like literally, he's got like 1,000 dealerships across the state of Florida. So, good luck. Also, he's the guy responsible for Marco Rubio. So
it's a funny connection.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a really good article in, I can't remember where it is. I sent it to Quinones. I should find it and send it to you. That basically talks about like the rise of Marco Rubio. And yeah, this car dealership tycoon, basically financed him from like the time he was like a state congressman all the way up. I mean, the dude's worth several $1 billion, obviously, very, very Zionist inclinations and a rather unsavory, for some reason, like the overlap between guys that are adjacent to like mobster stuff and guys that own car dealerships or like, chains of car dealerships is a really tight Venn diagram. Like no matter where I run into this phenomena, but yeah, a really sketchy dude. And he's the guy that's responsible for Mark Rubio. But anyways, a nice guy that works at one of his dealerships called me and was like, "Hey, we have an M8 that literally just got like rolled off. It's got 1,000 miles on it, and I don't have any room for it. So you want to buy it for this?" And it was like almost 40% less than what I was about to pay in the Aston, which had, I think it was like 6,000 or 8,000 miles. Don't ever buy a new car. You're stupid. Even when you're dealing with like supercars, you're dumb. So yeah, I literally left that guy hanging. Like he's like, "All right." I'm like, "All right, I'll take it. Just send me over the paperwork." And just been like, did everything. And then like, he called in like 10 minutes, like, "Hey, did you get it?" It's like, "Yep." Another 10 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to go with the other thing." And then I had basically dodged his phone calls for 2 days and I felt really bad. But yeah, the
you probably
DB11
made
is
the right
crack looking.
Honestly, I was looking back at their other models. They survived another unfortunate era of car design, which is the like early 2000s bubble car look, pretty well. Like the DB7 is pretty good looking. Maybe it's just because
Vantage.
Yeah, but that's what the Vantage, and then also the DB9. Like, those hit at exactly the right moment when I was a kid to be just the coolest thing ever. And V8 Vantages are remarkably affordable now. I wouldn't
like 40 grand affordable.
Anyone. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone do that.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. You should take that. So, all right. So the reason why these cars used to be so insanely expensive, like in the aftercare, which is like servicing them would kill you. Like the reason why you're like, "Hey, I don't advise you buy a V8 Vantage," is because you're probably thinking of the servicing cost and how like, it's a British car, which basically is saying like it's a North Korean car as far as reliability goes. But YouTube has crushed it. Like all of the like things that you needed to go to specialty dealerships, like the stuff that you used to have to take the engine out of Ferraris for, YouTubers have been able to figure out how to fix with like AC Delco parts and regular people tools. And for pretty much every problem that used to be like, you have to go to Aston Martin to do this, there is a YouTuber that has figured out how to fix it for $100. It's wild.
Well, and with the Vantages, as far as, and I don't remember the parts anymore, but the automatic cars are really cheap. But the manual transmission from that is, I can't remember if it's a ZF, a Getrag, or a Tremec, but it is an internationally sourced gearbox. So you can just buy them like used. They're used in other cars and swap them.
Very cheap cars, actually.
Yeah, there are like real deal shops that do this now. Like the first ones to get hit by this were obviously the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris because, everyone wants the gated manuals. But people have realized that there's a pretty big opportunity there where it's like the car's designed to fit that transmission. It's not like you're hacking it apart. And, people obviously do it themselves, or you can, find like there are shops that specialize in this. Same thing happened to Supras, incidentally. For obvious reasons.
Because wouldn't like with the US, didn't they only give us like automatics?
No. The last gen Supras, we got two options. So there's the turbo and the non-turbo. The autos in both were just the same 4-speed Toyota transmission that you and I know and love. And the turbos came with the Getrag. I think it's like the V160. Some of those numbers are in there, which is just bulletproof, but they're really hard to get. The transmission alone, I think last time I checked, was like $5 or $8 and that was.
I'm a Supra hater. I don't like them. They are fat.
The third gens. Well, it's a GT car. That's what it's designed to be.
But it's like really, really fat compared to like the Sky. Like the R33 is fat, and it's a GT car. The R34 is also fat. It's a GT car, but the Supra is really, really fat.
I am
which is very anti-Toyota.
I am extremely partial to the third gen, the Mark III Supras. I think they're so cool, and I'm like, those like ones that got away. I almost bought a 1JZ R154 twin turbo Supra when they first started bringing them in as imports, and I was going to do it, but like one of the other deals I needed to get the cash together fell through, and so I missed it. And now those have really shot up in value. I think I was going to get it for like 14, which was a steal for a Cherry.
Oh man,
I've always wanted one because we got a weirder engine. I think we've got one of the 7M GTE, which is not nearly as good as the 1J.
Japan screws us with everything.
I mean,
it's really
did you hear what
frustrating.
Trump said to the Prime Minister of Japan the other day?
Yeah, something about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, why didn't you tell us about the war in Iran?" And he was like, "Well, why didn't you tell us about Pearl Harbor?" Which is not a great answer, but it is really funny.
You want to know what? I would generally be really kind of annoyed that he said something like that. But in the context right now of how badly the Japanese have screwed us with the engines and transmission options that they have domestically, right? Because I'm just thinking about the S14.
or at least they did 30 years ago.
Bro, just
holding a grudge.
Giving us as a guy who was really into 240s for a long time, the fact that you gave us a 240 SX, which is a perfect like GT car, and it's actually just a great sports car. It's super light. It's independent rear suspension, rear wheel drive.
Nice and long wheelbase too, relative to the size.
Yep. Comfortable interior. And you gave us a delivery truck motor. Not even a turbo delivery truck motor. You gave us a natural
the engine was worse, but also the S13 Silvia looks so much better than the USDM front, right? Like either the early model pig nose.
Oh, with the projectors?
Yeah. Or even if you take the hatchback model, the Type X trim they got is so cool looking compared to the one we did.
Yep. Add in the delivery truck motor, and you basically have Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. I'm still mad.
Oh, and then what you did with oh God, I'm just thinking about what they did to the I could just rattle them off. All like the FDs, the RX-7s, what they did to the 300ZXs, basically every cool car, they basically cranked down so like the Germans, they basically have these like, gentleman agreements where no one cranks up the horsepower too much. They all kind of do it together. Like remember like the NA M5 just happened to produce like the same amount of horsepower as the E55, which just happened to produce the same amount of horsepower and they all would just, I don't know whether they had meetings or whatever, like, okay, are you ready to go to 500? Cha. Okay. Where is Audi? Oh, fuck them. And they would just race together. Japan has the exact same type of thing going on with their, with like Nissan, Toyota, Mazda, whatever. But they also got together and were like, yeah, let's fuck the Americans. Like, let's actually tune our cars way down and then we'll give it to them. So like every single Japanese car you bought, literally the identical car in Japan has got like 80 more horsepower.
Well, honestly, there were a bunch of stuff we didn't get either. Like all of
Mm-hmm.
the cool four doors. Like we never got the Soarer, like the real Soarer, which was way cooler
Wasn't a big
everywhere else.
Soarer
Obviously,
fan.
I like the ones that are based off
Oh
of the
no, that's
same
the
chassis as
Lexus
the Mark III.
SC300.
Yeah, the one right before that.
I
That
like
was
that.
super cool. More of a GT car, but we never got the Crown. We never got the oh, it was what did we call the Cressida over there? I can't remember. But like any of the cool four door stuff that came with like a 5-speed and the inline
Mhm.
sixes. It's on the whatever. I can't remember. My days of being able to quote off JDM Toyota names are slightly behind me. But yeah, no, it's crazy. And even into the 2000s, we did not get a lot of cool stuff that they did. Like there are obviously like the Land Cruisers, we only got the full size ones, and we really got
Mhm.
gimped on engine choices.
Yep.
Although I will say we obviously the the Hiluxes, that's another great example, but Nissan did the same thing. Like the Nissan Patrol is so much cooler than the version we are just now getting. Like they had a 5-speed turbo diesel truck version. I know the Aussies really like.
Mhm.
We never got that. And look, I think we can blame Lyndon Johnson for at least part of that. But yeah,
Well,
it's
black
kind of
people did
annoying
it.
we never. Well, Lyndon Johnson, I can't remember why he was mad at the French, which he probably had a good reason, even if I don't like Lyndon Johnson. But that's the origin of the chicken tax, I believe, which is why we haven't gotten a lot of like body on frame, like 4-wheel drive stuff.
That's so dumb. This is like the Jones Act. Like America has some really dumb like it's funny is that like we can look at like stuff like the Chicken Act or like the Jones Act where you can just see like this is a blatant special interest piece of legislation. And look at the disastrous long-term consequences of this. And then you look at what's coming out of Congress, and it's literally all special interest legislation. I never thought about that till just now. Like the long-term effects of like these special interest laws, which are literally the only laws we pass apparently nowadays, are going to be like, there's like infinity chicken taxes waiting out there, 20 years from now to trip me up from doing something I want in an unexpected way.
Well, it's like who do I have to bribe to get like a Land Cruiser Prado?
Yeah, like what's the argument against it? Like, why can't I have a cheap pickup truck?
It's just
Ford
illegal.
Sells.
Apparently.
Yeah, how much is a Ford F-150 now?
Dude, how if I know?
Pushing $100,000
for the top level. Here's what I'll do. Just
no, the top level
on.
is more.
Oh yeah, but I'm just gonna literally go to Auto Trader, brand new Ford F-150, and see what kind of prices I'm getting because I don't actually know.
You know what I kind of am into? I don't tell anyone this, but I kind of want a Raptor. I just don't want anyone to see me drive in it.
Okay. The first one I see,
or the TRX. It's actually the TRX I really like more.
TRX is cool. It looks like the cheapest one I can find new is okay. So that you can get a hybrid for only $54,000.
Get fucked.
It's for the F-150 too, right? Like there are other ones which are in like the 90s. And this is
what is the towing capacity on the hybrid?
I hope I know. Okay, there are some in the 40s. I'm actually curious what the cheapest. So this one is it's a 2.7. So it's a 6-cylinder turbo. Who in their right mind would? I'm actually curious to find both.
Because that defeats the purpose of a pickup truck. Who asked for a electric pickup truck? The Lightning Lariat. Find me the guy that buys a pickup truck that like needs one or wants one, and then find me his queer brother who also for some reason needs one but wants it electric. Like nobody that wants a pickup truck wanted an electric pickup truck, but yet here it is.
$89,000 on an F-150.
Yep.
Like not even, jeez. That's crazy. Genuinely absurd.
Yeah, I'm looking at the MSRP right now of just a baseline. And see, you can't even find them anymore. It's like I'm on Ford's website right now, right? And when I go and I look for it, it will only show it to me in monthly payments.
They
Like,
won't even
I'm
show it to you.
sorry, if you have to sell your car like a payday loan place, yeah, just the regular F-150 is over 40 grand now, or 40 grand.
Well, and the
And
cheapest one I could find on the market was 50. You know, it's for 44, I guess.
this is, and what is let's do a yen conversion, which is great right now. All right, so I'm going to go on Toyota's Japanese website. I'm going to translate. And we're going to find out how much a Toyota pickup truck is in Japan. I bet it's way, way cheaper. Oh, God. It makes me very, very angry. What about a Land Cruiser 70? How about one of those?
This is, I mean,
yeah, you can buy a brand new Land Cruiser 70, bro. That's insane.
the answer is, Stormy, we're just getting screwed. Like, genuinely.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, we
and
are.
like, certainly some of it is American manufacturing incompetence. Like, I really don't want to discard that. Like, obviously you have the fuel crisis vehicles, which are just blighted, but also like the market in America is shifting so much towards the elderly, both from like who has money, but also so many of these.
Do you want to know how much the
required-
brand new a brand new Toyota Hilux is in dollars?
I'm gonna guess. I think it'll start at like 28.
23.
Wow, that's remarkably cheap.
Yep.
Man, I would kill for a $23,000 new truck.
Yep. That's great. You and I actually had this conversation I think when we were driving in my car about like how that cars are just now for boomers, just like houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they exist as boomer toys.
Well,
and that actually
you see
answers the
that.
question of who wants an electric pickup truck.
Yeah, 'cause they're not gonna use it
does.
anyway.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that's the reason you see this proliferation of of crossovers, right? That
Mhm.
they are marketing to people who can't get out of normal cars. Like that's why it
Yep.
exists. They're not more space efficient. Like we cracked this. If you want a commuter car with slightly more space, the wagon is the answer, right? You're basically maximizing for internal volume. But again, right? Both U.S. consumer trends of who has disposable income, but also, you throw in all of this required safety and emissions equipment, which is incredibly expensive. And all of a sudden, well, who can afford a car that costs that much? We get back to they are marketing cars to the elderly. Like I did this thing when I was talking to Peruvian Bull a while back, where I basically, calculated how much, certain, items cost in, 1965 versus what they cost now.
Mhm.
And, the Mustang was one of the fastest selling cars in history because it was, again, for the boomers, but it was like a practical enough fun car you could get for not a lot of money new, right? Like, obviously there were the fast ones, but even the like base model ones were, very, very affordable. Again, like if you do conversion in the like low 20s, So like someone who's shopped for used vehicles with significant mileage on them above 20 grand, right? You start to think where it's like, okay, that's a radically different world where you can buy something brand new with a warranty or, okay, 23 grand. That's a lot of money, but like compared
How long
to
will that truck last you? How long will a Hilux last you? Right.
Yeah.
Literally till you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's the other thing. Like when we're talking about all of this, like legislature, it is also affecting longevity pretty dramatically. So you see this with like diesels and EGR. That's a classic one where, for those who aren't technically minded, although if you have made it through 59 minutes not caring about cars, I commend you. But basically, to get it to be theoretically more efficient, they basically take the exhaust gas recirculation, right, and kind of feed it back into the system, which is obviously horrible for the engine. It clogs them up. It takes them from being 500,000 mile engines to much, much less than that. But also, in order to achieve these sort of ever more ludicrous levels of efficiency required, they've had to do things like dramatically drop what they call the weight of the oil, basically how thick and how viscous it is. And as you can imagine, when you have really thin oil, well, once it heats up, it gets even thinner. It doesn't lubricate nearly as well, right? Especially in an engine that's built to very, very tight tolerances to get these sort of, highly improbable fuel numbers. And if you're wondering why, many major manufacturers have been forced to do, large engine recalls in the last 10 years. That's a large part of it. They've sort of gone past the practical efficiency of the engines. And in order to get past that, they have to sacrifice the stuff that matters to you, Stormy, right? Or me.
Yes.
Does this keep working over a long portion of my life?
Yeah, I basically have to, like, my car buying choices now are like Mad Max kind of choices. I know that sounds a little strange, but like, because of how unstable this is, right? So like, what are car manufacturers going to, we have less than 5 years of driving time left for boomers. Like, all of these automobile manufacturers are steering their entire product lines, their entire, because who doesn't care about a car not being able to make it over 150,000 miles? A boomer.
Someone who won't make it that long.
Exactly. Who has to buy a car that has over 100,000 miles? Young people.
Poor people.
Like, for 20 grand. For
I
20
like
grand.
You and I say poor and young people as if that describes two different groups, when that is simply a Venn diagram with one circle on it.
God, I hate them so much. Not young people, poor people, but old people. So much. How are these car companies going to deal with this? Like, all of a sudden, not only will no one buy these cars, no one can afford these cars. The supply chains are just nonsensical. Because another thing that's equally as nonsensical and kind of built for, what do they call it? Just-in-time delivery are auto parts. Our auto part supply chain is so incredibly fragile that,
well, and
basically,
to that point, not only is it fragile from a supply chain side, but we have outsourced so much of it that the quality is, and literally ask any mechanic, it's awful. So for instance, like, I had to replace the axles on my truck. One of the axles I bought was just broken from the factory. And then, so there were a few other things, right? And of the, let's just say like 8 to 10 parts I bought, 3 of them were from factory faulty. And that is not that abnormal, right?
Nope.
Additionally, I might add, one of the other things, and believe me, we're going to heap scorn on the auto industry, is there are very deliberate attempts to keep people from working on cars. The Chrysler Stellantis vehicles have now basically blocked your ability to go to AutoZone and have them read a code for you, or if you have the machine yourself. Now you need the special Dodge dealer plug to do it. So you have to go in and pay them for the privilege. Another one is,
you're making my ownership less efficient, right? You're actually taking away features of automobile ownership.
And like, another great example of this is parts availability. So for instance, on if you ever wondered why there are a lot of like 5 to 10 year Subarus for sale for almost nothing, it's because there is I believe a servo in the transmission, right? It actually is just sitting on top of it. makes the stuff inside of it move. It's a tiny little part, right? And it eventually goes bad. But Subaru will not sell you that servo by itself. You have to buy a whole brand new transmission. So this is now a 10-year-old car, which, wasn't particularly too expensive to begin with. Are you going to pay thousands of dollars and the labor to do it to replace what, if you had access to the part, you yourself, viewer, could do in 45 minutes? No. And is that a problem for Subaru? No, they already got your money.
Yep. Yeah, think about, I'm just thinking about European car manufacturers. They're the most guilty of this. So the new Mercedes now, because, like I mentioned, dear listeners, that performance now with a lot of these turbo motors is literally just twisting a boost knob and changing ECU maps, which would be like, the same as like running different programs. A lot of the performance features and a lot of the convenience features, Mercedes is trying to sell you by subscription. Oh, you want your car to go faster? You got the performance model car. Okay, great. But also that's going to be an extra $120 a month because you have to sign up for the Go Fast subscription.
Well, Stormy, I mean, that horrifying Cadillac we were talking about, the Celestiq, right? The $400,000 custom commissioned, handmade. I noticed a little asterisk on the 0 to 60 time. Said, 3.7 seconds, which for a car that big electric is impressive. Yeah.
Not in electricity terms, but yeah.
Guess what, Stormy? That's a subscription. You have to pay for it to be that fast. After the $400,000 you've given to Cadillac. No.
What is the subscription?
I don't know.
What is the price?
It doesn't tell you.
I would just be curious. Of course.
Inquire for more details.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to lose money. Because what's going to happen is exactly what's going to happen for me. Like, I have enough money to buy whatever car I want. And all the cars I'm looking at, because the only cars I want now are older cars. I don't want to buy a new car. Like, my cutoff is 2018, and that's pushing it now. So all I care about now, like, I'm probably going to end up in that next car, probably in like the next like week or two, is going to be that Lexus LX 570, like basically the Land Cruiser. Because and this is the other thing, is that Bring a Trailer needs to be destroyed. All right,
Are you going through the process of listing there?
No, that's going to be next week. So that's why I said 2 weeks, because it's going to be like 1 week to list, and for that sale to go through, and then another week of me finding a new car or whatever. But I just mean what it's done to just normal car ownership. Like, it's, how like Instagram is for, I know you and I have talked about this, like what Instagram is for like gun gear. Like now everyone all of a sudden cares about this particular type of night vision setup. That used to be like $3,000. Now it's $8,000 because Instagram, right? And it just goes from fad to fad to fad. Bring Trailer is this for cars.
Yes.
Nobody gave a fuck about Land Cruisers. Like, so people cared about old Land Cruisers. They were niche, whatever, but nobody really cared that much. But because the internet, particularly Bring Trailer, made them cool in an Instagram type of very trendy way. This is not a whole bunch of people now that are trying to cross the Sierra Desert or actually do things with their Land Cruiser. They just want to have one because
it's part of the aesthetic.
100%.
It's like a life. It's become a lifestyle brand instead of something you actually own.
Exactly. And own to use. So now even the new Land Cruiser, which should be the cheaper option, right? Like the 2018 Land Cruiser is, it's actually more expensive than the Lexus.
Simply because it
The
says
Lexus-
Land Cruiser on it.
100%.
It's the same vehicle with less stuff on it.
A ton less stuff. It's actually 15% more everywhere I've looked.
Shit, I'll edit that out. Sorry, my bad.
Please, please do.
Let me take that down. Well, Stormy.
For someone famously bad at remembering to do edits, please remember that one.
No, I actually will. I've never doxed anyone. But you see the exact same thing with guns, right? Like, I picked up that STI for
How do you like
significant. Oh, dude, I love it.
Are you sold on 2011s now?
Oh, 100%. I've been sold since I bought it.
I told you. Like, once you remember once you shoot it, you're never going to want to shoot anything else.
You remember the brief period of time where I deluded myself into saying that it would be something that I would buy and sell for a profit?
I do.
One of many self-delusions. But you see a very similar thing where in the transition from STI to Staccato, right? And Staccato is the like Instagram brand, right? There's a huge like social cachet associated with it.
And those quality drop off.
Exactly. Right. It no longer, made in a different way. This is not a gun show, but ostensibly on its
it could be
simple virtues that should hold a price premium.
Yep.
But we see the exact opposite because it's not the Instagram cool one, right? It's not the one that you can post for updudes. And so effectively,
that's good to know.
Well, dude, you see the same thing even earlier, right? Like,
it's like the Lexus. The Lexus is the one that you'd actually want to have, but it's cheaper.
I always think about
trendy.
This with the GX 470, which is a vehicle I love. It's sort of like a hybrid between the 4Runner and the Land Cruiser. It's on a 4Runner frame, but it has the same engine from the Land Cruiser, which I don't remember if that was offered in the 4Runner version at that time.
Nope.
Point is,
it hasn't been.
But offered at you can get them on the secondary market for significantly less. Now, there's the air suspension, but that's not hard to fix, right? If you're an adult, you can do it. But point is, again, right, you see that disconnect between the kind of like social media and the actual thing. And honestly, you see brands realizing this with the growth of like, obviously the M cars, from BMW are like the ones that you want. But then, you have the M Sport, and mechanically it's the same car, but it has the badging on it, right? It looks
where it gives you the badging of the car that you can't afford. This used to be a thing that only colored people did, right?
Now there's like
an S-Class Mercedes, and it would say like S55, and you'd be like, yeah, no, bro, sorry. And it would always be like, a Haitian guy trying to pull off like a stock Mercedes with, V12 AMG badging, but not realizing that there's a lot more than just the badging. But now car manufacturers are doing that exactly like you just said. They're basically treating people like, hey, oh, you want the Haitian package? You want us to put all the badging on of the car that you couldn't afford to buy.
Yeah.
And upsell you with it. Like, this is actually why I bought the M8. Like the M8. So I bought the M8. I then spent a retarded amount of money on it. I basically bought an M8 twice, which was not my original plan. But I wanted to be like more low key. I was like, all right, so you just came off of like a shouty engine in the back Italian car, which, dear listener, you will probably think that you look very, very cool in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and maybe you might.
Can you fit
while you're driving it? There you go.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me getting out? Getting in, I had down to a science, but getting out, all of the glamour was gone.
Oh,
Like,
dude, that's the
you are
problem
now
with
a
race cars.
clown. You're a clown now. Everyone in the parking lot is laughing at you as you roll out like you're on fire.
If only you had access to a foot operated door handle, you could probably get out way faster.
If I had $1 million, I would. But yeah, and also my friend and I counted the days. So I had an R8 for a while, and then I sold it, and I bought a M5. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna
Dude,
be a normal guy.
the
And
V8
then my
R8s, the first gen ones, I think it's Magnuson makes a
Yep,
supercharger setup.
I was
Those are
about to say
yeah,
it's the better car. The R8 V8 handles infinitely better, is much more pleasant to drive. And yeah, if you're smart, you'll just buy the V8 and put a blower on it, and you won't buy the V10. But I was like, all right, we're going to do grown up stuff. And my co founder was like, yeah, you should totally sell your car and do grown up stuff. And I come in like a week later, and there's this blue Ferrari. Uh, what is it? What's the one above the 430? It's the next one.
458.
Yeah, the 458. I always confuse that with the 488, which is grotesque.
Yeah,
Right?
the 458 is that's kind of on the line for me.
It's slow.
It doesn't
I
have a lot
mean,
of torque,
slow
as far as I understand,
relatively.
right?
It sounds amazing though.
Yeah, it's honestly the race car version, the GT3. Uh,
The
I
Pista.
really like it, man. It's so pretty.
I think they're all terrible. I'm
It's an
a
emotional.
mid-engine Ferrari hater because all right, so I pull in, there's this bright blue Ferrari, and I was like, whose car is that? And everyone in my office was like, oh, I don't know. And even this F slur, played into this for like 45 minutes. He's like, I don't know, man. And he's like, it's outside. And I'm like, yeah, it's in the parking lot. Right. Like, this is like our building. Like, there's nobody else like in the parking lot. And he even like played along and like came outside with me to look at this car who he pretended like he didn't. Anyways, it took me about an hour to figure out. And I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, you had me sell my cool car so you could buy a cool car and fucking dunk on me in our parking lot like every day. And he started cracking up, and he's like, yeah, basically I did that. And I went out and I made an impulsive decision, and I regretted it for a very long time. And that was a Gallardo, which was in the shop for a whopping 171 days of the year.
He did buy. Okay.
And his car was in the shop for 177 days of the year. So it's like you buy these cars and you're just like, okay, what the fuck's the point? Like, Italy still can't make a car that runs to this day. Audi buying Lamborghini was the best thing that ever happened to it. And I didn't buy late enough in that transition where they figured out how to make electronic things work. And Ferrari still can't make a freaking car that will reliably do all the things. Like, it's like today you get first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Tomorrow, your top doesn't work. Next week, it's going to be reverse doesn't work, and your stereo is on maximum loud all the time. Like,
It sounds like my wife's Volkswagen.
Bro, it was like both cars were like possessed, which is funny because I made an impulse decision to get back at him, and he bought a car to dunk on me, and both of our motives were impure and selfish. So we were cursed with cursed cars, and that's why I bought the BMW. I was like, I just want responsible German car that works all the time, and I've been super happy with it, but like, I'm going to buy a car that I know is going to go for 100,000 to 250,000 miles because I think boomers are literally going to break the car market, just like everything else that they've done.
So, Stormy, I know that you are a man of taste because everyone knows, well, anyone who's anybody knows that the front engine V12 Ferraris are the ones that matter. And so I was going through the recent models because, you know, I'm quite partial to the F599 is great. The F12, honestly, the 812, very good looking. But the fall off from the 812 to its replacement, the 12 cylindry.
I haven't even seen this. I have to look at this.
It'll make you mad, man. It looks so bad.
Okay, hold on. Live reaction.
It is much like the GRGT that you and I were talking about earlier. It is too long. The proportions are wrong.
Oh my God. Okay. It is called the 12 cylinder. No, I don't want racing. Sports cars. All models. Oh my fucking God. I want to
Well, especially because the last model was so pretty.
The entire Ferrari team needs to be in a mass grave. This is grotesque. Can we just tell them that we only like 1980s vibe stuff on 1980s vehicles, and this is not just a design language that you can try and reinterpret?
Well, and like,
right? Is that's what I'm looking at, right? Like this is like them trying to do 1980s stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't communicate that really at all. Did you see somewhat related?
Oh my God! Did you see the convertible of it?
Oh no! Does it look better?
No, it looks worse.
I knew the answer to that question before I asked.
Check this out. This is the Amalfi, which I just dropped to you on Telegram. Mm-hmm. Tell me if this gives you all the Ferrari feels, or is that just a Miata?
Why is the Ferrari website run so badly?
It's really bad. Oh, and the Ferrari has an SUV now.
Oh, I knew that. Here's what I'll say. The back 3/4, I think, is its best angle, but it's not a Miata. It is a 2014 Jaguar F-Type.
Yes, it is. It is.
It is the back half of an F-Type with the front half of is it the 400Z? What's the new Z car?
I don't even know. I know it went to like 380 or something Z.
It's just the Nissan Z. That's why I can't remember what they called it. The Nissan Z, actually, not horrible looking, but just not right. It's why you can't make pretty modern cars, because it has the right outline and the right proportions, but everything else is wrong.
Well, this brings us back to our initial thing.
Yeah.
Why can't we make beautiful automobiles anymore?
Honestly, the Zs are cheap. They start at 42 for a. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah. Why can't
they
we
all
make
need to
cars?
be LS swapped?
Well, we can't make pretty cars because one, laws from people who hate beauty and hate fun and hate the idea that you have the ability to go wherever you want.
Yeah.
And two, because seemingly everything is so over designed by committee for everyone and no one at the same time. So like, when we're talking about the 60s even, there would be a head designer who was like the king. And these guys are famous. Like, honestly, the Japanese were doing it up into the 90s. Like the guy who designed the RX-7, the last gen, the FD, he did it himself. And they were very beautiful cars. But now it is, and I know a little bit about this because, I know some people who've worked for, GM or have, had an internship there in college. And it's massive teams. It's like the automotive equivalent of like the South Korean studios of 300 animators, who work on Hollywood movies. So it's a combination of everything all at once. And I mean, again, the fact that, even Rolls-Royce, which we didn't talk about, is playing to China. Everyone is playing to everywhere all at once. And so even if the laws in your country are sensible, well, it's simply more efficient to design something to meet laws in every country. And so these things become basically like technological boxes. It's basically a very fancy iPhone.
I think that's actually 100% correct. And this is why the aesthetic language is going to be the language of everywhere and nowhere and every time.
Honestly,
God bless Rolls-Royce for holding out. Like, God bless them. The SUV that they put out is beautiful.
What's the Bentley one again? It's not the Bentayga.
The Bentayga. It literally looks like a Latinx girl after 30. Or after 22,
wow,
sorry.
That's so bad.
But that's the same, but because it's the same thing as the Audi SQ5 or 7 or whatever it is, it's just the Audi SUV.
Okay.
Which is just the
worst one, though.
VW SUV.
The worst one has to be the Ferrari SUV, the Puro Sangue. Sangue?
Wait, really? More than the Lamborghini one?
Look at it, man. It's funky. Also, can we acknowledge the deliberate middle finger that is naming your first SUV the Pureblood?
Yeah.
Although now that I look at it, the Urus is probably the ugliest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Okay, so this isn't really okay, I will say that they have made an uglier FXX.
On stilts.
Or sorry, what's it called? Yeah, exactly. They tried to turn what was the one? The GTC4 Lusso is a very pretty car. It's a hatchback F12. And I mean, the F12 is basically my favorite Ferrari in the last 30 years. More, probably more. Did you ever get a chance to see the F12 TDF?
Oh, yeah. Very, very pretty.
That's the prettiest Ferrari they've made in 60, 70 years.
Honestly, the rear of the F12 is always, or the FF rather, is always so much better than I remember it.
Yep. It's kind of like the Panamera hatchback where you're like, oh, I should hate this. And you're like, oh, well, because like there's a lot of like the Germans invented really cool hatchbacks, right? Like they did their AMG cars. BMW has never been able to pull this off, but who really is good at it is Mercedes and Audi.
Yeah. The RS6, is it the Avant? Is that what they call them? Yeah.
Yep.
I think is one of the coolest cars ever. And I really want one, despite any very real objection to me owning one.
Oh, really? Have you heard anything bad about it?
Oh, I mean, it's just, they're extraordinarily expensive and they're like a lot of high-end Audis. They're pretty heavy on consumables and maintenance because again, it's like a 7,000 pound car.
I've also heard that Audi has a real reliability problem.
Yeah, they do. Well, my dad had fast Audis for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. He had in the mid 2010s. He worked a similar job to the one that I did when you and I met. He was just kind of going all over. And so
I made significantly more money at it.
Yes. So he had a car stipend in addition to a mileage, which basically is there to cover, the wear and tear you're putting on a car doing 5,000 miles a month. So we'd always go for, at the time at least, he had an S6 first, then an S7. The S6 was much better. The slope back doesn't look great, and it has a lot of problems. At least it did in the like 2014-ish range. But those were really cool because the engine from the S6 to the RS was exactly the same. So it was like an ECU map away from, 700 horsepower, which is a ton, period. It's especially a lot in like a, executive sedan with all-wheel drive. Yep. So it was like comfortably in the like sub 4, 0 to 60. Alarmingly fast and with so much momentum. I've told you, right, that I did some track driving, and I convinced him to let me take it out on the track. I did like 2 laps, and I was terrified because they're so big. They're front heavy, like the engine is ahead of the
Mhm.
axles, and it's on airbags. It was sort of like it's like if you
That's
strapped a
insane. That's
couch to a
insane.
roller coaster with no seatbelt, is how I would describe the
That's
feeling.
insane. There's never in a million years. See, the M8, the one thing I will say is that when BMW does a new M car, not like the M3 or the M4, but when they do a new M car, because like I was in love with the reason why I put the Aston Martin down so quickly is because I was in love with the BMW 850 Ci as a kid.
Same.
It was just the coolest thing in the world to me. Actually, like the big German coupes, I'm still in love with to this day. If I could get a hold of a, what is it, 560 SEC,
Mm-hmm.
the big Mercedes coupe,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't an S class, that came later, but they did it in a wide body AMG that like I would drive that right now. But I've just been in love with like the big high power coupes. And when I found out that like, oh, we're bringing the M8 back, or we're bringing the 8 back, and we're doing an M version of it, I was like, I'm sold. And I was expecting it to be like the 8. My dad had an 8 series. Of course, he was a chump and didn't get the V12, but whatever. And it was like a 7 series. It was luxurious. This thing is as luxurious as like a 7 series for like 2 people, but it is a proper freaking sports car. Like I am constantly impressed with it. Like as soon as you chuck this thing into it shrinks like magic. I don't know how to. And BMW's gotten really good with all-wheel drive because like the cool thing about the M8 is you can turn it full-time rear-wheel drive on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also lock the diff on the fly. So if you want to, if you like drifting a car, it's really good at that. I think it's called donut mode.
Cool.
Yeah, but the all-wheel drive is insane because it's both wheel selecting
Oh,
and torque selecting. So it literally feels
Stormy.
like a fucking yeah.
So I was looking for a specific listing on Bring a Trailer that was referenced. Dude, Bring a Trailer is the most dangerous website in the world. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something else I found. I don't know anything about this, but this is the most visually arresting machine I've ever seen in my life. Let me pull this up.
Hopefully in a good way he means.
What is this?
But I know he doesn't. Is this in
you see that?
text or in the Telegram channel?
Oh no, I just pulled it up on StreamYards.
On the screen? I want it.
Like, what even is this?
Oh,
This is
I
why
don't know,
I love
but
this
I need
website.
a reason.
Because
check. Okay. I know what it is. I actually know what it is. Because I fell down this rabbit hole like a couple of days ago.
So it's a Ukrainian.
Yep.
Oh, is this for like going over
snow
like that
and water?
Oh,
This
is sick.
Okay, so it is the company that originally started making it is called WSZ
18 seats.
All right, so I'm going to send you the company that originally made these in Soviet times, because this is like a whole. These used to be tracked vehicles, and I'm going to send you a picture, and you are going to want one more than you've ever wanted anything in your whole freaking life. Imagine, if you would, I guess it would be like the equivalent of like the old Volkswagen hatchbacks. like 80s, and then imagine if it was also a tank.
I'm sold.
And you could just go be in the Soviet Union and just buy one of these for however many Soviet Union coupons you were able to sell your kidney for. But the thing that you're looking at, before they did the big wheels, they did. I'm not even going to tell you what they did. I just want you to look at it. So you've probably seen it's just on iMessage. So you'll probably see the two cars, which are amazing. And then you'll see something else. And that's what the Soviets did before they tried this big wheel thing.
It's a screw. It's screw powered.
It is screw drive, not tracked, not wheeled, but screwed. And apparently, like, it went everywhere. Like, those screws were like pontoon screws, so it floated and it would climb. Anyways, they stopped doing it because it's retarded after a couple of years. But yeah, this company is like an ex-USSR all-terrain vehicle manufacturer that just apparently got to go as retarded as they wanted to with whatever. But that kind of reminds me of a cartoon Unimog.
Yes, yeah. Well,
another thing that Bring Trailers made ridiculously expensive.
Oh, I know, it drives me nuts.
It's basically like the Land Rover Defender too. Like, here's a thing that is basically like a
utilitarian
piece of farm 100%. And like the Toyota Hilux. Like, this should be cheap. Its whole purpose is to be cheap and to be fixed with a hammer. And now, because it is trendy, because it kind of looks boxy like a G-Wagon, like the Nissan Patrols. Like, we're going to make this thing that costs $5,000 in every other country but America cost $100,000 for a resto mod import that somebody in their garage did. Like, and the Unimogs do the same thing. The Unimogs used to used to be able to get a Unimog for like $5,000. And in Europe, they're still like dirt cheap because they're just utilitarian farm trucks. But in America, we're like, oh, this is cool. And then some fucking nerd will be like, it's cool enough for me to pay $100,000 for it. And then the new going rate for this utilitarian vehicle is now $100,000. It's like a Land Cruiser now. Oh, actually, we should go back. Dear listener, that GX470 that Jay was talking about, you should buy one for your next car, because not only is it great and very, very capable off-road, it will go for literally 1 million miles. Literally a million miles. There's hundreds of them that have gone 1 million miles.
My family had one, and we sold it with like 280 on the clock. Stormy, I've sent insane. You 2 more links, which are more specifically relevant to you, especially the second one. I might have made you make a bad decision, but I think I need to wrap up. Actually, I realized we've been talking for like 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, that's actually not bad. I was actually thinking it was more than that. I was like, man, I wonder when you... Oh, wow.
Dear listener, if you're wondering...
That's very pretty.
This is what Stormy and I do like once a week. Like, we just decided to record this one. So if you're still here, I appreciate it. You're welcome. Let me know how mad you are that I titled this the most egregious clickbait possible. But
what did you title it?
I haven't figured it out yet. This will come out tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll give it some time to percolate. What I could entrap people to a 10-minute conversation about John Podhoretz, and then another hour and a half about our opinions on cars. But Stormy, obviously you are on the Inquisition, which has moved to who's putting it out now? Is it you?
I think I put it out, and if Pete and Thomas, I think they also drop it on their channels, except for all of you guys were basically stuck in the middle of the wilderness.
Yes.
So the last one is only out on my Substack, which is free. The Inquisition will always be for $0. So it's on my Substack. You can catch most episodes unless Pete and Thomas is trapped in the wilderness on their Substacks as well. And I have to do an RSS feed for it. I just don't want to go through the trouble of doing it.
It's kind of a pain. Well, I will
I'll
be
do it
sure
over the next month.
Dude, I hate RSS stuff. I need to be doing. Anyway, the conversation for another day. As far as my stuff, guys, Jay Burden Show, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or you can pay me a few bucks a month on Patreon, Substack, or Gumroad. Get the episodes early. I'm free. Stormy, it's a ton of fun. To everyone at home, keep your head up. Life can't last forever. Good night.